AP World History students. My name is Divier, and I'm going to be talking about period 5 of AP World History with my partner Stephen.
In this period, we will be talking about the Enlightenment Age, Industrial Revolution, the American, Haitian, and French Revolution, imperialism, the rise of many isms such as capitalism, communism, nationalism, and colonialism, and the Qing dynasty.
Let's begin with the Enlightenment Age, also known as the Age of Reasoning. This was a period of time where people thought to reason human nature, political stuff, and God.
It started during the 18th century in Western Europe. During that age, there were many famous Enlightenment thinkers. We may know some of them as John Locke, Montesquieu, Voltaire, Adam Smith, and more to come later on.
Reasoning will light the way towards a new utopian golden age in which people were radically more free, equal, and happy.
That's what the people thought in Europe. The Western civilization saw an explosion in the application of scientific reasoning to, actually everything. Second, the birth of Republican democracy in North America and Western Europe. Third, the application of religious tolerance to political systems. And fourth, the seeds of social equality in political systems.
The ideas and philosophies from this age had affected societies from all over the world. For example, Montesquieu believed in the idea of dividing government power into 3 branches, also known as the separation of power. He thought it was important to create separate branches of government with equal but different powers.
These Enlightenment ideals had took in effect during each revolution, first being the American, then the French, and last being the Haitian.
First, we will be talking about the American Revolution. This revolution was between the colonists and Great Britain.
French and Indian War. Fight!
So after the French and Indian War, also known as the 7-Year War, the British won and they made the American colonies pay a large debt for the war. So they started taxing the Americans first with the Stamp Act. This was when they added a stamp on a document in which the colonists would pay a huge amount of money.
To collect taxes, and I'm gonna collect taxes. Here's the first The British! I'm the British! Taxes! Give me taxes now.
Yes.
Thank you. Since the colonists got mad, it caused the British government to repeal the Stamp Act later on. But it didn't stop there. The British government started taxing them even more with the Townshend Act, which it caused the colonists to boycott. Something that we should be familiar with is already the Boston Tea Party. This was when the American colonists boycotted a ship that had imported tea and they dumped it out to the sea. 13 colonies ended up rebelling against the British.
Fight!
July 4th, 1776, the Second Continental Congress declared the independence of the United States from Great Britain.
The French Revolution was a period of time in France when peasants overthrew the monarchy and took control of the government.
The French Revolution lasted 10 years from 1789 to 1799. It began on July 14, 1789, when revolutionaries stormed a prison called the Bastille. The revolution came to an end on 1799 when a general named Napoleon overthrew the revolutionary government and established the French continent. The most important causes of the French Revolution were the nation's debt, the refusal of the nobility and the clergy to pay taxes, and the egalitarian philosophies.
The Reign of Terror lasted from September 1793 until the fall of Robespierre in 1794. Its purpose was to purge France of enemies of the revolution, so Louis XVI went bleh.
After the French Revolution, it completely changed the social and political structure of France. It put an end to the French monarchy, feudalism, and took political power from the Catholic Church. It brought new ideas to Europe, including liberty and freedom for the commoners, as well as the abolishment of slavery and the rights of women.
Now we are off to the Haitian Revolution. It was a conflict in the French colony of Saint-Domingue. leading to the end of slavery and Haiti as the first modern republic ruled by Africans. Their main leaders were former slaves such as Toussaint Louverture and Jean-Jacques Dessalines.
The slaves fought the French and got their independence in January 1st, 1804.
Haiti became the first nation to win its independence and the first post-colonial independent black-led country in the world. It was also the only country to become permanently independent as a result of a slave uprising.
The Latin American Revolution was a series of revolts that led to the independence to each country in Latin America from Spanish rule. It began with the dethrone of Napoleon Bonaparte. These led countries to revolt against this. It was led by Miguel Hidalgo and Costilla, but the revolt was unsuccessful. The next one took place in Buenos Aires, which was where a movement was done for Venezuelan independence, and it was led by Simón Bolívar and the Juntas. It was successful at first, but then it became unsuccessful. The last one was successful when José de San Martin defeated the Spanish in Chile, which set off a tide of victories for the independence of Latin America.
Now that we've got the main revolutions done, let's go talk about abolitionism.
Abolitionism is a movement to end slavery, whether formal or informal. In Western Europe and the Americas, abolitionism is a historical movement to end the African and Indian slave trade and set slaves free. In Europe, particularly Great Britain, political and social changes would drive the push for abolitionism. Enlightenment philosophers of the 18th century, such as Rousseau, wrote passionately about the right to freedom and the need for equality among all human beings.
These Enlightenment ideals formed the foundation for political revolutions in Europe and the Americas. Many intellectuals felt that slavery could not be reconciled with the Enlightenment values of democracy and equality, and thus the abolition movement was born.
The Emancipation Manifesto, issued by the Russian Tsar Alexander II that accompanied the 17 legislative acts that freed the serfs of the Russian Empire, is an example of an abolition act.
Many people today now support abolitionism and believe that this should be like that in the future.
Now we're going to talk about the industrialization era.
The Industrial Revolution is a term utilized for the period in the 18th and 19th century when rural and farming ranges in Europe and America ended up plainly urban and industrialized.
The rapid changes were brought about the development of machines and the discovery of other sources, which resulted to the construction of factories and mass production. The period also marked development when it came to transportation, communication, and commerce.
The Industrial Revolution began in Great Britain during the 18th century.
There are many reasons why industrialization started in Britain. For one, it had great deposits of coal and iron ores, which proved essential for industrialization.
Additionally, Britain was a politically stable society, as well as the world's leading colonial power, which meant its colonies could serve as a source for raw materials, as well as a marketplace for manufactured goods.
But as the Industrial Revolution occurred, imperialism emerged due to the needs of raw materials in order to power these new machines.
The British imperialized China and opened their trade ports. We start seeing the U.S. emerge as a leading country, and we see that they imperialized Latin America to keep colonist countries away. And let's not forget about the scramble for Africa when France, Belgium, Great Britain, Germany, Portugal, and Italy wanted parts of Africa.
This next wave took place from the mid-1800s to the early 1900s. During this phase, large factories and companies began to use more technologies to mass-produce goods. Important innovations during this period include the use of electricity, the production line, and the Zimmer steel process. This is known as the Second Industrial Revolution.
The Qing or Manchu dynasty was the last imperial dynasty of China. Once a very powerful and influential family, the Qing dynasty ruled for about 300 years. The government did not do much about the opium problem until 1839, when a commissioner was sent to Canton. He burned about 20,000 chests of opium and banned all British trade. England declared war. The Qing couldn't win against British because of their advanced weaponry and battleships. They surrendered in 1842. The end of Qing dynasty happened due to the Tephen Rebellion. It started in 1850 when Huang Quan and his followers wanted to reform many Chinese traditions. The rebellion was crushed when the British and French aided the Qing. This rebellion was one of the reasons why the Qing collapsed. A group of rebels formed an organization called the Society of Harmonious Fists. These rebels were upset with the amount of foreigners running through China, so the Boxers were formed and they tried to kick out the foreigners. Many foreign people died in the Boxer Rebellion due to all the Boxers. It was issued to help with Latin America. It was used to not let European nations intervene with Latin America. It was also used to keep stability in Latin America. The British also spread their sphere of influence in China. Their sphere of influence gave them power to open the trading ports, to have trading rights, and had access to natural resources within a region in China. Nationalism was an effect to imperialism. Nationalism took an effect in Africa, South Asia, and China through movements. In South Asia, they formed the Indian National Congress to help gain their independence. In Africa, they were resist against imperialism. Besides it being an effect to imperialism, it was also an effect to the unification of Germany and Italy. Under Otto von Bismarck's rule, the unification of Germany happened, and Camille de Cavour helped unify Italy.